Yeah, hi, this is Dr. Pavan Soni, and in this short video, I'll be discussing with you what is called as a business model. What's a business model? A business model, in its very simple sense, answers three questions. The first question that it answers is, how does a business generate value? What are the value generating activities? Now, value is something which is delivered to the customer. The second thing is, once the value is generated, how does the business deliver value? What are the value delivering activities towards the customer? And finally, once have generated the value, delivered the value to the customer, how does a company appropriate value? What is the meaning of appropriate value? Appropriate value means how does the company get back the value? Getting back the value in terms of profits. Now, a very simple way of representing the business model is in terms of what we call as a business model canvas. Now, business model canvas has been a great contribution by Alexander Osterwalder, and the reference book for all of us is called as a business model generation. And I'll strongly recommend you to go and check that particular book out. But here what I would like to elucidate is how do you make a simple business model, and that's something that will really help you think through the execution of an idea from a financial standpoint. So a simple 9-block structure of a business model canvas looks something like this. Let me explain each of these elements to you. The first element of a business model canvas is what we call as a customer segment. Now, what is a customer segment? A customer segment is essentially all the customers who you want to target. Now, you need to be very clear about who your customer is and who your customer is not. And I think the more important question is who is not your customer. So you can divide your customer with respect to, firstly, whether you are a B2B company or a B2C company. Then you can think of your customers in terms of demographics. What is demographics? Demographics essentially mean the age, gender, marital status, family income, educational background, etc. How many people in the family. Then you can have something called geographic. Geographic is with respect to tier 1, tier 2, urban, rural, inside India, outside of India, which part of the city, etc. Then you have psychographic. What are psychographics? Psychographic essentially entails all the elements that define the attitude of the customer. Are you risk pro, risk averse? Are you more willing to take a chance? Are you conservative? You are extrovert, introvert, etc. And this is a very important factor in terms of sales to the consumers. You can even add things like usage frequency. How frequently the product or the service is being used. Is it daily, hourly, monthly, weekly, etc. And depending on the usage frequency, you can appropriate the customer. This is not a laundry list, but there are various ways in which you can define the customer. So I think this is the starting point of a good business model canvas, which is to know your customer and also know who is not your customer. Because what happens often is that we are wanting to please everybody and anybody, and in the process we are ending up pleasing no one or addressing nobody's problem. So knowing who is not your customer is a very critical aspect of a business model canvas. Then we talk about the customer relation. What is customer relationship? Customer relationship essentially means marketing. How do you reach your customer? Okay. Now, some of the ways of marketing could be ATL, which is called as above the line. So all the newspaper hoardings, etc., all called ATL, billboards. Then you have BTL, below the line. Now, below the line is something that say happens through social media or through some campaigns. For example, Jagore campaign by Tata Tea was a BTL activity. Okay. Or for example, some of the social campaigns that organizations do. Amul's very creative ads that come basis some social situation are again examples of BTL. There are hoardings, of course. Then you can think of emails. Okay, what kind of email campaigns are we running? We can think of meetings. Okay, conferences. etc. So all these activities are your ways in ensuring that the customer comes back to you. You can have loyalty program, you can have referral program. Okay, these are the activities of customer relationship. However, we have to also look at the way you reach your customers with respect to your physical product or service, and that is what we call as a customer channels. Customer channels is nothing but sales. What kind of sales mechanisms exist? We can have direct, like something like Eureka Forbes has a direct sales network, or Amway has channel marketing, okay, where you have a multi-level marketing. You can have wholesaler, retailer, distributor kind of a model, which most companies have. You can have purely online, you can have offline also. You can look at an Amazon kind of a platform, or what we call as an aggregator kind of a platform. All these are the various sales channels which are available to you. So you need to know that how will I be reaching out to my customers. Then the heart of the business model canvas is what we call as the value proposition. Now, what is value proposition? Value proposition is a central reason why a customer is willing to come to you and take your products and services. So here you answer two questions. What is the unique value that you are offering to the customer, and how are you superior to the alternates in the form of competition? So some of the value propositions could be value for money. Okay, for example, Maruti Suzuki. The reason customers buy Maruti Suzuki is not because of latest features, but Maruti Suzuki is typically value for money. Another is reliable. What brands come to your mind when you talk of things like reliability? For example, you can have Woodland. Woodland is a fairly reliable shoe. Or Apple. Apple products are reasonably reliable. You can have quality as another value proposition. Toyota comes to mind when it comes to quality. Design. Once again, Nike is a good example which has really prided itself in design. Availability. Something that you will always find wherever you go, you will possibly find it always being available. Bisleri. Bisleri is always available at every part of the country. You will always see a Bisleri bottle, so it has made its mark like that. Robustness. Royal Enfield comes to mind. Convenience. Honda Activa comes to mind, and henceforth and so on. You can have a lot of value propositions. The criticality here is that you need to identify a value proposition, and in your marketing and sales channels, keep reinforcing that value proposition to your customers. That's very important. Once you identify that I want to be known for quality or convenience or robustness, availability, value for money, or peace of mind, for example, could be another thing. Peace of mind. For example, State Bank of India can be peace of mind. The reason people still stick with State Bank of India, even if so many private banks have come, is because in State Bank of India, at least you have peace of mind that my money will not go anywhere. Or LIC can be another example of peace of mind. So know what your value proposition is, stick to it, and keep reinforcing it over and over again through all your channels. That is, so these activities are what we call as value delivery activities. Now let's come to the value creating activities. So one of the first value creating activities means key activities. What are the key activities that the organization does? Now the key word here is the key. What are the activities that you have to do and in which you are different and which you cannot outsource? So some of the key activities could be branding, okay, manufacturing could be another key activity. You can have training as a key activity. Okay, hiring could be a key activity. Product design could be a key activity, or maybe R&D could be a key activity. But you need to know that things which at any cost you are not willing to concede and willing to give it to somebody. Or you can think of what we call as, to support these key activities, what we have is called as key resources. Now once again, the word is key. So what are the key resources that you are really focusing on? So one of the key resources that a company could have is, say, money. Money could be your key resources. You can have natural resources like mines, localities. You can have talent. Brand is another very important store. intellectual property, okay, or patents, etc., etc. So know what are the things that you are thinking of as indispensable, and things which you think are dispensable in the sense that they can be outsourced comes to this category called as key partners. Who are your key partners? Key partners could be the people whom you really want to work with as your outsourcing agents. So these could be, say, IT. You can have a very important IT partner. You can have a bank who does financing for you. You can work at your logistics partner, for example. If you don't want to really get into logistics, you can have maintenance company, etc., etc. So know the guys whom you would be working with to outsource the business or to sort of ensure that there is a synergy. At the bottom is your value appropriation. This part is called as value delivery. This part is called as value generating activities. At the bottom you have something called as a value appropriation. On the value appropriation side, you would have something, the first thing could be cost structure. What's a cost structure? A cost structure is a piece that talks about what are the various cost heads which you have. So one of the cost heads you could have is your fixed cost. Whatever are the costs that do not depend upon the production. For example, if I am running a factory, my fixed cost on the factory could be all the machinery and equipment. Now whether I am running it or not, I still have to pay for the machinery and equipment. But my variable cost could be electricity. If I am running the factory that day, my electricity is on. If I am not running, the electricity is off. Similarly, in many cases, the white collar job salary can be fixed cost. Blue collar job salary can be variable cost, because if white collar jobs is absent, you still pay. But the blue collar job is absent, or depending upon the number of hours they work, you do not pay. You can have a variable cost. Then you can think of cost of salary. You can think of cost of customer acquisition, sales cost, marketing cost, okay. You can look at the commission that you are paying, rental you are paying, and these various costs that you write down, it gives you a sense of how much is my burn monthly. On a monthly basis, how much money I am burning. Okay, once you get a sense of it, then you will understand that is my business really viable, or should I really cut down on some of the aspects. And finally, I have revenue streams. What are my revenue streams? Revenue streams are all the ways in which you can make money. Now, in my articles, I have spoken about more than 15 revenue models, and I'll just give you 2 or 3 very simple revenue models. One is called as asset selling. So asset sales is a revenue model when you are, say, a mobile phone company. So as a mobile phone company, you sell a mobile phone to a customer, and that's an asset sale. Customer gives money to you. Second model is subscription model. A subscription model is what something like Netflix works on. Netflix, you buy a subscription for, say, 650 rupees and you watch movies. Now there is no asset sale. They are not selling a movie to you. They are selling the right for you to watch a movie. Then you have pay as you go. Pay as you go or pay as you use is what a mobile operator does. A mobile operator is not a subscription model, because you pay only for what you talk. Then you can have a razor blade model. What's a razor blade model? Razor blade model is something that Gillette adopts, or like HP adopts. So what Gillette and HP do is that the main product can be sold at cost. For example, the HP printer can be sold at cost, but the real profit HP makes is in the cartridge, the ink cartridge. Similarly, Gillette will end the handle for you at cost, but they'll make a killing on the blades, because blade is a recurring purchase, and henceforth and so on. So there are a lot of business models. Or for example, another business model is called as freemium. A freemium business model is something like what say LinkedIn users or Truecaller users. So the basic service is free, but if you want to get rid of ads, you have to pay something which is premium. So free plus premium, and henceforth and so on are various business models. So what you look over here is a very simple caricature of how your business can look like, and this exercise is very insightful exercise, because it gives you a perspective on how to run a business. You start with the customer, how to have relationship with the customer, how to reach to the customer, why should customer buy from you, what are the activities that you must do, the key resources you need, your partners, how does your cost structure look like, and how does your revenue, and between the cost and revenue, the delta is your profit. So I hope this video was useful to you, and I would really appreciate if you can adopt this into furthering your business plan and model. Thank you so much. This is Dr. Pavan Soni here. Take care.